Who got some lemon? I need some lemon.
I'm Keaira and
KP.
You are now listening to the Perfect Couple Podcast. We are far from perfect.
Psych.
But as high school sweethearts, we do know a thing or two about having a dope relationship and building generational wealth, all while raising 3 daughters and being social media famous.
In our podcast, we'll discuss everything pertaining to marriage, intimacy, family, fitness, and balancing life in general.
Oh, and our crazy journey of how we went from eating dry tuna squares in crusty motels
to being CEOs of several multi-million-dollar brands.
So sit back
and enjoy the conversation.
All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Happy Couple Podcast. We are a happy couple, but welcome to the Perfect Couple Podcast, where we talk about relationships, giving our opinions, our advice, because we are vets. You know what I'm saying? We sort of like vets.
But I don't like to say advice.
It is advice, though, because I know we were saying that, but it is advice, and we have the right to do that. We have the capability of giving advice because we have a healthy relationship.
But don't hit me up with your problems.
No, well, that is. Yes, you guys can. That's the whole point of this podcast, is to help people.
Well, I'm saying if the advice goes bad, it's not our fault.
All right. I kind of want to cut this out, but I'm going to leave it so y'all can see what I deal with on a daily basis. All right. So anyway, we talk about our relationship. Mm-hmm. We give relationship advice, especially to people that are in serious relationships. You know what I mean? And they want to make it work. They want a healthy situation to happen, and they want to
or people looking for a serious relationship.
Yeah. We talk about parenting. We also talk about business for sure. And a lot of people have been asking us to talk a lot about business. So we will be diving more deeply into that as well in this series. This is series 3, season 3, I guess, so to speak. So let's get right into it. I'm Keaira, first of all.
KP.
Period. All right, so.
Yeah, you're looking good over there.
Thank you, honey. You look good, too. With your black glove shirt on, I'm all about it. And shout out to Peja and Amari. This is our brand. Both of these are our brands. This is PejaandAmari.com, and that is sayit-loud.com. We do business together, which I absolutely love. That's one of the coolest things about being married to a smart guy. We can do business together. I love it. But speaking of being married, okay, this topic that we're talking about today, wait. Before we do that, we do have to do another shout out to our one of our biggest sponsors that makes this possible.
2 of them.
2?
Two
oh,
of
yeah,
them.
that make this possible. Go ahead, tell them what it is.
JustMoveSupplements.com, the best vegan supplements on the planet, black owned, and ain't nobody messing with them flavors.
Period. What else?
I gotta do both?
Yeah.
IfYouCanMove.com.
What's that?
The best app, the best fitness app that's out there.
What does it have in it?
Everything. You can create your own workouts. We got challenges. We got kettlebells. Everything from like kettlebells to yoga.
Dance, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. A whole lot of dance. Step. Workouts are fire. Yep. Everybody love it. Sign up at IfYouCanMove.com.
All right. So thank you for that. Those are our biggest sponsors. So that being said, let's move on to what we are here to talk about today, which is the hesitancy about marriage, like the hesitancy towards marriage, mainly in men. And then we'll get to the ladies, but mainly in men. What are men so hesitant about? What are the top reasons? We're going to give them the top reasons they're hesitant to get married.
Well, times have changed. So I think now a lot of men are worried about divorce. It's probably the top. Getting taken advantage of, I'll say. Not even so much the divorce. Getting taken advantage of during the divorce.
Oh, yeah, that is scary. That's scary because, well, I mean, that's what prenups are for. People don't like prenups either. They hate that word. But that is what prenups are for.
But you usually need a prenup when 2 people don't come into the relationship on equal footing.
Well, a lot of times nowadays, especially if men feel like they'll get taken advantage of when it comes to the divorce aspect of it, then most of the time they are going to be the breadwinner, if that's the case.
Correct.
I saw this post online where it was talking about how much this lady was talking about how much the men should do, or how much her man does for her, and she did not mention that one thing that she does for him. And people got real tight about that. Like they got real upset about it, real in their feelings. They're like, okay, you're saying all these things that he's doing for you and he's done for you. What have you done for him? And basically she's like, I'm cute, I'm pretty. And I think that's another thing that men are afraid of is like you said, being used. It's like, you can be as pretty as you want. That's fine. But
That
what
ain't
else are
enough.
you bringing to the table? Like, what are you, although I'm not saying that this is every woman at all, because I'm definitely not one of those. I am cute now. Don't get it
No,
twisted. I need you to
you
understand.
fine. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. But I definitely bring a lot to our marriage.
That helps,
Yeah.
but that ain't.
That's
I
definitely
ain't
not the
gonna. I
number
would not
one
have been
reason.
with you this long just because you cute.
Yes. Right. And looks fade too. Honestly, looks fade. I don't care how beautiful you are. You know,
Well, yours ain't faded yet, so.
I mean, well, I'm also not ancient yet, but when I do become ancient,
We all have Facebook. We've seen some of our older people that ain't aged that well.
well, that's their business.
I know. I'm
You
just
see my
saying.
genes. We ain't talking about them. We talking about my genes. And I have great genes, but I'm saying that it doesn't the physical beauty does not last forever. You know what I mean? That's why you have to bring more to the table than your looks as a woman and as a man. You know what I mean?
Well, men don't have to be attractive.
They don't. What's another reason why people are hesitant, or men? We're talking about men right now.
I'd say the commitment, the actual commitment of marriage. I don't think people really understand that nowadays. When you commit and you're ready to marry, like people think that's like a death sentence. Their whole life is over.
To some people, it is.
Then who are you marrying?
The devil. I don't know.
Yeah, who you marrying? Like they be like, you can't go out with your friends. Like I don't know. It's just
I
a
feel
whole
like that's
bunch
not
of.
even a good relationship anyway. Like it shouldn't even be
Yeah.
a relationship, much less a marriage.
They feel like they'll get controlled and their life is no longer their own. Their freedoms are gone. But even before you get married, aren't you with this person?
Right? Don't you see that that's what's happening already? If you know what I mean?
Yes. That's why I told you got to be married before you get married.
Although some people, depending on how long you've been with them, especially a shorter period of time before you get married, a lot of people only show their best side, the best version of them, their representative, right? So some people can switch it up. They absolutely can. Right after marriage, they absolutely can, because they feel like that is that's the lockdown. Like you can't go nowhere after that. Although you can.
You make a man miserable
But people
like
can
that.
change it up for real.
So they carry you across the threshold, and then you just be like, "Up, let me put these handcuffs on."
Do you believe, Desiree? Do you believe that can happen? Like people can change. Obviously, if you've been with somebody long enough before you get married, you'll see a lot of the signs, and sometimes people choose to ignore. But people can switch it up all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, I think that they can, but like you said, I think. Yeah, I think that they can, but like you said, I think the chances of them switching up all of a sudden is unlikely. It's probably things that they've
I
already
don't
been showing
believe
you
that.
that you just choose to ignore. Or more so, probably think that I see these signs, but when
I don't
we get
believe people
married,
can hide their
it'll
true colors
change.
very long. I think human nature, your tendencies are your tendencies. You can only be fake for so long. So if you're with somebody for a good amount of time, they've shown you who they are.
That's facts.
It's either you've chosen to ignore it
Yeah.
and still marry them, or you get out the situation.
Yeah. So I want to talk about something a little bit more. You said commitment, and you kind of paired that with lockdown, because a lot of people do feel that way. But commitment that's not commitment at all. Like I'm committed to you, but you ain't locked down. You can go to Vegas. Like you love to go to Vegas. You can go do boys trips.
I think it's
stuff.
more
I don't
every
care about
day
that.
though. I don't know if it's just on like a trip or something. Some people can't do that either, but I think it's like every day. They feel like they don't have any freedom on the weekends if they want to do what they want to do, or on Friday night if they want to watch the game, or Sunday they want to watch football. They feel like they can't do the simple things, not the big things.
So is that more so like not wanting to be controlled? Commitment and control, two different things, no?
But when they commit, they feel like they'll be controlled.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's
Gotcha.
like a huge thing right now.
Okay.
So
I
they're kind of
understand.
like one and the same. Like once you get married, now I can't do the things that I want to do.
So they're afraid to.
Their freedom is gone. They're, whatever it is that they do, all guys
Yeah.
do different stuff.
I
But
think that you do have to. It's too much beauty in here. Excuse me.
I like it.
Just kidding. No, I do think that. Now I lost my train of thought. I do think that you have to be considerate of your partner. So I do think people have an issue with consideration and compromise as well.
Well,
I
if you
think
want to
that if
stay
you've been
out,
single for so long, and again, this is about men. We'll talk about the women in a minute, but I don't know. Tell me if
I
that's
just feel like
a
if you've
thing
been one of
too.
them dudes that want to stay out till 2, 3 in the morning with your boys, and you were doing that before you got married, your girl gonna say something about that if she plans on
As
marrying
she
you.
should.
But people want to be able to do those things.
Okay, so that's my thing. I wouldn't mind that, but all the time, and you do that when you
Every
single.
weekend.
Like every week, yeah, you doing that when you single. Like we can't build. For me, again, we talking about the men right now, but for me, if I feel like my future husband, that's something that I would talk to him about before we got married, not after. Right?
Which you should.
Right. So it's not something I would wait for and be like, oh, now that we're married, you can't. No. Before we get married, because remember a lot of the things that me and you talked about before we got married, I was like, before I marry you, you have to grow up. Stop procrastinating and being irresponsible. I wouldn't say
I
irresponsible.
wasn't going
immature.
out all the time though. I just
No,
I ain't had
you
no
weren't.
financial responsibility.
And no, I'm saying I'm just using the communication before marriage as an example. That was really important that I said those things to you like, hey, before I marry you, these are the things that have to
know.
change.
My list of reasons not to marry you didn't exist. So
Well, that was my only list. I mean, my only reason is you had to grow up. I ain't have no other issues with you. Like you've always been dope, but you
true.
were
That's true.
childish. And I was like, I'm going to be successful.
that's what keep me young.
No, we're not doing that. I was like, I'm gonna be successful, and we can't do that at this level. Like, and we were still very young, but I knew that at some point, this has to change. Like, if this doesn't change, then we're not gonna be where we want to be. So
No, you was right.
I know,
That's where we at now.
yes, but
I owe you a lot.
You did change.
That's because you was way more mature than I was, though.
That's because you are the youngest of your siblings. I am the eldest of the siblings, and a lot of times, and not saying that that's always, but a lot of times, the older
The baby be spoiled.
the baby, you were absolutely spoiled.
I take that.
Bad. I had to tell
take
your
that.
mom. I had to tell her like, pull back.
I
If you
take
want
that.
if you want your son to be a married man, pull back. Let him grow up.
People don't be thinking that stuff matters. You got to know where in the line of children your potential spouse was born.
That middle child.
If you marry, I feel like if you marry the oldest, you're gonna get a lot of maturity.
Yeah.
If you marry the youngest, you're gonna get a lot of babyish qualities,
Absolutely.
spoiled qualities.
Absolutely.
And anybody in the middle,
Oof.
it's a toss up.
Yeah,
the
you
middle
don't know what
children
you gonna get.
Because our middle child, I love that little girl,
But she's very caring, very nurturing, but she's going to give you the business.
and she a Gemini.
Yeah, so there's that.
And you know what? Before I met you, I didn't think that horoscope junk was real. I'll be like, I think you really should at
Dive
least
into that a
kind
little
of pay
bit.
attention to it.
So is that another reason men are hesitant? Signs?
I don't know if men are into horoscopes as much as they should be, because I know I didn't pay attention to it at all. I didn't think it was real. And then I started looking at what a Leo is. I was like,
What's a
why
Leo?
does this describe you to a T? Bossy. Ooh, again.
Oh,
You better stop. Center of attention.
but I don't try to be.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What's another one? Oh, leadership.
Yeah.
Attitude.
Wow.
Sometimes hard to get along with.
Wow.
I feel like you need a certain
Tell me how you
personality
really feel.
type to get along, to be in
That's
a
true.
long-term relationship with a Leo. I don't know how
That's true.
male Leos are, but if a male Leo is like you, I don't know how any woman marries a male Leo. Because, I'm a Cancer, y'all, and we are the best sign. Like, we, out of all 12 of them, we the best. We the most even. We the most caring. We not? Who more caring than us? We the most loyal. We go hard for our people.
Wait, Leos are very loyal.
Yes, y'all are.
Women. Anyway, I don't know about
Do I know any Leo men?
you do.
Oh, yeah, I do. And they all cool though.
But you're not in a relationship with
That's
them.
true.
You know, Cancers are interesting. I'll
Phenomenal.
say you're great,
Phenomenal.
but Cancers can be emotional. They can be sensitive.
I skipped that part.
You did not.
I skipped that part. Let's keep going. What else am I?
That's it. All right, moving on. So what else? What's another reason why men are hesitant to
Sex life? Feel like it's over. From what's on the internet, your sex life ends when you get married.
A lot of times it does, though. You know why? Because a lot of times, and we've talked about this in previous podcast episodes, but a lot of times when you get married, you have kids, and sometimes you already have them, but like you have kids, and kids can take a lot of your time and a lot of your attention. And when you're putting all of that into them, by the time it's time to go to bed, you're tired, or you just over it, right? Or they're just haters. You know what I mean? You have that.
That's why they have locks.
And then sometimes too, people feel like, oh, well, I already have my husband or my wife. I don't got to keep trying. I don't got to be sexy now. I don't got to. They get comfortable and they feel like they don't have to try anymore.
Mm-hmm. Which we talked about as well on multiple podcasts. Keep dating.
Yeah.
Keep impressing each other.
Right. And I would definitely say make time for sex in your marriage or in your long-term relationship, your serious relationship.
Even if you got to schedule it.
there was a I forgot what movie it was, but they were scheduling their sex time. It was hilarious because
I want to say it was Me, Myself, and Irene.
It could have been. I can't remember now. But they were like, okay, sex on Saturday.
Fun with Dick and Jane.
I think it was that. Yeah, it had to do something with Jim Carrey. But people do that. But even if you do that, at least you're making time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you make time to go to the gym or you make time to go to work or whatever. You know, you make time for the sex life and keep trying. Again, keep it interesting, keep it fun. Don't I can't. I wouldn't be able to do it. Go on. Go on. What else?
What's up? What else I have on this? Fear of failure. Men don't like to fail.
As far as marriage or
as
just
far
in
as
general?
marriage.
Okay.
You don't want to get into, because I feel like with the divorce rates being so high, there's just a lot of men are thinking about the other side of marriage, not marriage itself. And a lot of people are pessimistic right now about marriage. Marriage rates are the lowest they've been, I don't know, in decades. People are not getting married like they were before, and I think a lot of it is just social media has a lot to do with it, because too many people equate real life to what's on social media, and then they're listening to all these negative people who have had bad marital situations, and then they're applying it to themselves, that's going to happen to them. That's why y'all need people like us who are in great relationships to talk to y'all that this is possible, especially with black people. Ours is honestly the lowest. Everybody knows black women get married the least, get married the least, divorced first. So, you know, there's a lot of black women out there that is also pessimistic. But black men, you know, I thought about what I was going to do with this podcast and whether or not I was going to like really go at men sometimes. Sometimes you need to, because I feel like with social media, men are complaining so much, and it's just different because a lot of people talk about like our grandfathers and all this, and granted it's different times, but I don't think there's ever been a time where men complained this much. They don't I feel like we're supposed to get stuff done. That's what men do. And I'm not saying you don't have any issues, but it's like right now men are complaining about everything.
Like what?
Honestly, I don't even know what their gripe is with black women.
I don't either.
The main ones, but it's like they don't feel like women are, but it's more so what black women do versus the other, like they're argumentative or masculine or whatever the case may be.
Listen, like we talked about in the Soft Life episode, the reason why some black women or black women in general, first of all, we automatically spicy. Okay, that's one. We automatically got that extra oomph
which I
to
like.
us. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. But also, if we feel that you cannot handle your business, then we don't respect you. If we feel like you're a bum, mentally a bum, you know what I'm saying? Emotionally immature, then we got a problem.
It's all
You know
of
what I
that.
mean? But black women are the most loyal, loving, nurturing. We're gonna take care of you. That's why back in the day with slavery and stuff, we fed the colonizers children with our own breast milk. If that don't tell you how amazing black women are, I don't know what does.
I personally believe black women are amazing.
We are absolutely amazing. We are strong. Sometimes we don't want to be. Sometimes we don't want to be. Sometimes we just want to. We do want to be nurtured ourselves because we nurture everybody else. You know what I'm saying? We uplift black men. We uplift, we are the culture. We are the blueprint. We are the black print. Black women are the blueprint, period. And so, with men wanting all these other women that try to look like us and be like us without the struggle is ridiculous to me. And then nobody can relate to you like we can.
They can't relate to you at all.
No other race can relate to a black man the way that a black woman can relate to him. Your mother is black, your sister is black, your grandma is black, your auntie is black. Now, if you got some trauma from that, then you should, again, get therapy for that. But don't hate us because of something that happened to you in your past. Because we're beautiful people. We're beautiful women, like beings. We're nurturing and,
But I think the same
we
thing
show
with the men.
softness and strength at the same time. We're gentle, we're loving, we're all these beautiful things. But we are not going to let you get away with nonsense. That's another thing. If we find out that you're doing something crazy, we're going to call you out on it. You can't be mad at us for that. You need to grow up. That's it. If you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, not saying all women, like all black women, I don't know. It's also a character thing too. But like, if you are doing things that you ain't got no business doing and we call you out on it, why are you mad at us? But you'd rather deal with such and such because she's not going to say anything to you. No. You're not going to get away with the nonsense with us. Grow up. Excuse my language, figure your shit out, and then we will put you on the pedestal that you deserve to be on.
Valid.
And you know that's true.
Valid. Because I feel like black men are beautiful as well.
Absolutely.
I just feel like, I don't know, social media has affected our community differently.
Yeah. Because
we're very materialistic now.
Yeah.
Everything is money-based. Everything when it comes to a relationship, money is first. And it's like, I don't understand why money is so important when the reality is most of y'all not going to make a lot of money. Yeah. That's just the reality. And I'm not saying you can't make a lot of money, but the reality is most couples will make less than $100,000 a year.
But it's also the comparison thing. The social media does the comparison thing.
But that's why it hurts us more when you're a materialistic group. Mm-hmm. It's always what somebody else has: jewelry, cars, clothes, houses, mm-hmm. and it's always comparing. Well, they got this car, so let me go get this car.
And when it comes to marriage, too, though, especially like the wedding rings, for example.
Oh my goodness,
that stops a lot of men I know personally from wanting to get married because they're like, well, I can't afford what you want me to be able to afford. Mm-hmm. Like, you want me to spend, again, on social media, they see all these crazy rings and they see all these, all these carats and stuff, and they're like, I cannot provide that. So I just won't even embarrass
yours.
Myself.
The comments, and they don't know that this is number 4.
This is ring number 4.
Ring number 1 cost $125,
and I wore it proudly.
So that one don't cost $125, but
right.
every ring was an upgrade.
Yeah.
And that was something that we did. Mm-hmm. And it's like people don't understand that you don't have to go and spend $10,000, $15,000 on a ring on day one. Get one for a couple $100. Yeah. It's a symbol of commitment.
I don't think people feel like that's a possibility nowadays. I just feel like they're too embarrassed. Men are too embarrassed, and then women are too embarrassed to wear it in front of their friends. And that's really sad because it's not about the material. It is about the love and the commitment and the honor between you guys. Like, it's about taking your relationship to the next level. It's not about like, oh, your ring size does not determine how much you're loved by your partner.
Correct.
And so that's really sad to me because
it's
a
the
lot
fact
of
that you got one.
right? Because a lot of couples, they do their relationship diminishes because of that,
Absolutely.
and
I would
that's
feel some
really
type of way if a woman told me
ridiculous.
if a ring don't cost X amount, don't give it to me.
Yeah,
I'd be like, you know what? I'm not getting you nothing. You're going to put a value on marrying me or even me proposing? And then it has to be this elaborate, expensive proposal. Then the wedding got to be super expensive. It's like people got to come down to earth.
yeah,
And I would say start with your own finances, right? So if you make, say, 50 grand a year and you want a high value man, and so to speak, it's like be realistic on who you're going to be with. If you're with somebody and he make 50 grand a year, he's not going to spend a fifth of
That's
his
crazy.
yearly salary on no ring.
and if he did, you should have a problem with that,
Right.
because that also means that he's not financially responsible, and he makes really bad decisions because of peer pressure. Or I wouldn't say peer pressure, I would say fiance pressure.
And too many people want to spend the money on the wedding instead of putting the money towards your future.
Yeah.
You spend 15, 20 grand on a wedding, go put that as a down payment for a house, do
That
a
part.
smaller wedding.
That part.
Like,
And then
that's
do
what's
another
going to...
and do another wedding later.
Yes, the wedding is one day.
Yep.
One day.
Yeah.
And the only people that matter at that wedding are you and your spouse. Don't go breaking the bank for no wedding or impress people who are not going to help you when you need help, especially financially. Some of them will disappear from your life totally. And you done spent all this money. And the day after the wedding, you looking at your bank account like, maybe we should have held back on XYZ. When you could have bought a house, which would have helped your future. So it's like you got to figure out that balance in these relationships, especially in our community.
Or traveling, or
Any
creating
of it.
experiences with each other,
Any of it.
bonding.
I love, like we keep saying that, I love my people, but we need to do better as a group. We need home ownership in our community.
Yeah.
We need couples.
Land ownership.
Yes. Yes. So stop spending all the money on the wedding. Concentrate on the future. And then after you make a little bit of money, 5 years down the road, renew your vows, then go all out.
Yeah, because we're going all out next year.
Yes, we're renewing our vows next year.
Yeah,
And we're going to ball out.
ball out. Because our wedding was, when did I get my dress? I think I got my dress. And first of all, I didn't even have a dress. Your mom was like, okay, so where's your dress? I was like, what dress? She was like, oh, you don't have a dress. This was like the day before the wedding, or 2 days before the
2
wedding.
days before.
2 days before. And I was like, I don't have a dress. I was just going to pick something out of my closet. And she was like, oh my gosh, you know.
I ain't had no suit.
You didn't have a suit. I didn't have a dress. We had each other. I said, listen, the only thing that matters to me is that I'm getting married to your son. That's all I care about.
If
I
it
don't
wasn't for
care
my
about.
mama, this would have been a real ratchet wedding.
Look, we went to the courthouse at first. We told
Yeah.
y'all that story. Y'all got to listen to season one or
One?
two. Now I don't know. Listen to everything. But we talked about us attempting to go to the courthouse and get married, and then we got cussed out by our parents. But anyway, we didn't have anything. We didn't have any money towards this. The pastor did it for free. We used our church and
My mama took us out to eat afterwards. There wasn't no reception.
our parents.
Yes.
Both of our moms.
There
Both
wasn't
of our
no
mothers,
it wasn't
yeah.
no reception. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wasn't none of that.
Well, that was the reception.
Yeah, we just went and got some
celebration,
food.
yeah.
Where did we go?
PF Chang's. That was my joint right
That's
there.
how you. We went to PF Chang's.
I did my hair.
Oh,
I did my hair 5 minutes before I walked down the aisle because your mom was like, "We got 5 minutes."
you kind of did me dirty though.
How? Oh, I got to show a picture too. I just found that picture.
Yeah, so they can
I'm a-
see how you did me dirty. I ain't had no
your hair.
retwist.
Oh yeah, your hair was.
I had dreads at the time.
My hair wasn't done either. I literally twisted that thing up right before I walked down the aisle.
You could at least did the front for a brother or something.
I know. I didn't even think. What were we doing? Yeah, we gonna show y'all.
Them dreads was terrible.
They were, but hey, I was still happy to get married to you. It wasn't no craziness.
I still had fun though.
I had a blast. All right, what's the next one?
The whole I want more women. The grass is greener on the other side type of thing. You know, I got to be with one woman
For the rest of my life. Yeah.
You know,
Unless, like we talked about in a previous podcast, unless you discuss that previous. Some women you would be surprised at what they might allow you to do.
mm-hmm. But just know, adding more women to your life, fellas. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. But
Like
women be a lot. Now I got Desiree here. This one, she adding to the rest of the women in my life. I got too many women in my life already. And I'm not in a relationship with anybody other than my wife, and it's already too much. So I couldn't imagine
being in an actual
yes,
relationship.
like the dudes that be having like multiple families. I don't even know how they do that.
Well, granddads used to do that. So
Yes.
talking about, they used to have families down the street. I knew a family personally.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I knew a family
yeah.
personally. They lived down the street from each other. The dad would go eat dinner over there, come home and eat a different dinner down the street. And they knew about each other, and they was just like, listen, you take care of this house. I don't care what you're doing.
That's too much for me. Women are a lot.
You said what? Right.
That's respect.
Like,
That's
then he would go get,
I can respect
he would have his main wife, and he would go get the other one.
And she would ride in the back of the
and
truck.
she would ride in the back of the truck.
In the truck bed.
The truck.
I'm not. You
No, we're
laughing?
not
I'm
kidding.
not playing.
Yeah.
She would ride in the truck bed.
Yep.
And the main wife is inside the cab.
Yep.
That's gangster
But
too.
what's
but
crazy though, is that the second, the bed wife, the truck bed wife, not wife, but family, whatever. She wasn't allowed to have her own
yeah, she couldn't date.
situation. She couldn't date. She couldn't dress a certain way. That's wild to me.
Mm-hmm. As a man, I got 3 daughters and a wife. I don't need no more women. No more. And on a personal level, it's already. I don't have between work, and I guess that's another thing. I don't know how a lot of these men have time.
Well, I think it depends on what amount of effort they put into a relationship anyway. You understand? And I think that's why you feel like it's so tiring, because you put a lot of effort into being a husband and a father. So
I have to be the best if I'm gonna do it.
Some people, okay, guess what? A lot of men do not feel that way.
Oh nah, I'm
They just
competitive
feel
with
like
myself.
they just feel like.
But I'm
they
also
are in
competitive with the
relationship.
men around me. Like I'm competitive with my father to be a better father than he was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I know somebody else is a good husband, you're not gonna be a better husband than me. I'm just
They said
competitive.
you're setting the bar too high.
I'm setting it ridiculously high. But again, that also helps with my security,
Yeah.
right? I'm not jealous. I'm
Yeah.
not envious. I'm not insecure because the pedestal I put my wife on, I ain't worried about no other dude reaching it.
Yeah.
Because you leave me for a new guy. Boy, he got a lot. Like these some big shoes to fill.
Yeah. I think though that, again, depending on what they feel a relationship should look like is why they might feel like they can juggle more than one woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I'm not knocking those men because like we said, I think in a podcast on this season, there's different relationships for different people.
Absolutely.
Some people were meant to be monogamous. Some people meant to be polygamous. Some people meant to be single.
Yeah.
So whatever you do is what you do. I just say, especially in our community, just whatever you're going to do, just be the best at it. If you're going to get married, because as a man, you can't control what your partner going to do. And I feel like that's where a lot of the complaining is happening. Like, all you can do is take care of your responsibilities. Like, men, take care of your shit first. Do that, and everything else will fall into place. And if it don't, trust me, there's going to be another woman who's going to appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And it's like now we just complain, oh, they don't do this. What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Right? We're the only group of men in the country. I don't know if the world, but definitely in this country where our women out-earn our men. It's like y'all want to complain about masculine women. Stop being a feminine man. Because now the roles have switched. A lot of women are more masculine while men out here are being more feminine. I'm not saying they are feminine men, but they have more feminine qualities. Because I feel like complaining is not something that men are supposed to do. Right? We don't complain. And I'm not saying you don't have issues. You don't need a therapist.
Men can have feelings.
Yes, you can definitely have feelings and emotions and all that. But y'all are complaining when y'all don't even have y'all stuff together.
That part.
Education is key. I'm not saying you got to go to college, but you should always be learning. What are you good at? What are you pursuing? And then also in our community, we have this, I don't want nobody that do a 9 to 5. I want an entrepreneur. Well, if you want an entrepreneur, keep in mind, if y'all don't work together, you might not see that person that much.
That part.
Because for some reason, We believe being an entrepreneur, you work less hours than if you go work a 9 to 5. Or you have more flexibility. Because I remember there was
It's
I need to
glorified.
find that because I want to put that up. A woman said she wanted a partner that was more flexible, so she wanted an entrepreneur. And I'm like, what kind
You
of
talking about
work?
B. Simone?
No,
Oh no.
it was a different one.
Okay.
But I'm like, what kind of entrepreneurs are y'all where you can just pick up and go to Jamaica when you want to?
I mean, you can though. Depends on your business. You absolutely can. You can go wherever. If you're an entrepreneur and
If
you
you
work
by
from,
yourself.
well, I mean,
But when you have employees and you have a business, most of the time, we can't just leave when we want to.
no.
We have to plan it out.
Yeah.
We have employees. We have a business to run. We need to be here for it.
Yeah, but there's so many different types of entrepreneurs, though, babe. I think that, like, especially people that are just online, they operate digitally. You know, like with the courses and stuff
And,
like
and
that.
I know that too, but that's
Yeah.
another problem with our community is that individualism. We're not building anything.
That's true.
So if you have a business and you can just pack up and leave and you don't have no employees and all that, but you run around here calling yourself a boss, how you a boss without employees? You know what I'm saying? It's like we need to build something. When you're an entrepreneur, you're not leaving when you want to. If you have a fully automated online business, totally different.
Yeah.
But if you're building something like we have warehouses and we got tasting we have to do and we got all this other stuff we have to do, we can't just be like, oh, we leaving today.
Yeah.
We don't get
It's
that
not as
option.
flexible as you think.
We actually get less vacation time than somebody who works a 9 to 5. And I just don't know where that notion comes from that this is easy. I guess if you're trying to be an entrepreneur just to have a life, like just make enough so that you can survive, also different. That's not what we on. And I feel like, they want that dope boy because they want a lot of money.
They want that scammer.
Yeah, a lot of money with basically the least amount of work so that they can go do what they see on social media
Absolutely.
instead of building with somebody so you can actually build a life. Because when you have these people who do scamming, drug dealing, whatever, every single day there's a risk that person ain't going to be there no more. And if you don't work, that's your livelihood. You're relying on this person to keep doing whatever they doing.
Then they just go find the next one.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
And then the cycle continues within our community.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, a lot of people don't really care about that. Like you said, they care about the individualism more so than anything. So there's that.
I think people are starting to wake up. I just feel like we don't know how to juggle relationships as a group. We don't know how to be a community as a whole. I think there's people who want to move into that direction, but we just don't know how. We don't know how to build that village back up.
And I think too, while building that village, we cannot be judgmental of other people's relationships as far as like what they choose to do. That's another thing. Like, if we're going to be a village, you have to respect other people's decisions and their relationships.
And
you
they
know
take
what I'm saying?
a story
Especially because
and run with it.
if it doesn't have anything to do with you, that's the problem too. Like, we be looking at everybody's stuff like it's polygamy, gross. It's like they ain't got nothing to do with you.
None.
Leave it alone.
If you gay, they ain't got nothing to do with
Got
you.
nothing to do with you. If you like whatever you like, if you like trees, it doesn't matter. And I ain't talking about
be
weed.
weird.
I'm talking about hey, listen, there are tree huggers out there. You ain't hurt nobody. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Are there anything else before we move on to the women's side? Before I talk about what women.
Well, the other one was the responsibilities and the changing of those responsibilities that men are afraid of, because now somebody's going to hold you accountable.
Absolutely.
And they don't like that either. That was weird. But again, I think it comes down to the same thing that men, I'm only going to speak for what I see. We just complaining. We don't want a woman that's going to hold you accountable. You don't want to be questioned by a woman. And me, I like that. I need my woman to question me, because that's when you challenge me, it makes me better. Right? Somebody got to sit there and say, I don't think that's a good idea. Then I can sit there and say, why don't you think that's a good idea? Now we can bounce some ideas off of each other and be like, okay, now I have a better idea.
Kind of, for example, last night when we were talking about, like, we bounce ideas off of each other when it comes to our businesses all the time. And although we both respect each other's mental capabilities of running the businesses, we also do challenge each other big time. Like, if I feel like, okay, I think we could do it better in a better way, this is why. I love when we have those conversations because it does help us. And the same thing with, you do the same thing with me. You'll be like, babe, I don't agree with that because this, and that. I feel like we should maybe consider this because, whatever the reason is. But it definitely does help you to grow and be better at what you're doing. So it's okay to take constructive criticism from your partner.
Absolutely, but a lot of men don't. I think constructive criticism from your partner, male or female, is difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's why they don't work together.
Yeah, the emotions are involved, and it is hard for people to separate the two. It is hard for people.
I'm just gonna cross the legs in front of me, huh?
I can't do nothing if I drink my tea, if I look at you too long, if I.
We got 3 kids for a reason, baby.
Okay, let's move on. So, all right. So now we're gonna talk about why women are hesitant.
Because they crazy. No, I'm just playing.
Wow. So some of the top reasons: don't want to take care of someone. We don't want to raise a man.
And that comes with responsibility again.
So, yeah, that's what a lot of women are afraid of because it's like you come into this relationship and we have to tell you to take care of this. We have to ask you to take care of this. We have to remind you to take care of this. And it's just like, if you don't.
Responsibility.
Yeah, the kids,
everything comes back to it.
Yeah, we already got enough on our plates. So we don't want to have to raise our partner. That is such a turnoff. So we feel like if we have to do all of that, then we are better off without you.
I am proud of a few things, though. That one thing that I've noticed about a lot of men, especially in my generation, and even under me, slightly above me, there's a lot more black fathers out here.
Oh,
so that
absolutely.
stereotype that, oh, your daddy won't. Yeah, our fathers might not have been there, but we there for our children. You know what I mean? So there are a lot more involved fathers. So I feel like on the responsibility front, when it comes to fathers, especially the men who are in healthy relationships with their partner, they are great fathers. Everybody I hoop with, they all got kids and they all are involved with their kids. And I like to see that.
Yeah.
But go on.
It's a beautiful thing for sure. Emotional, financial fear that they won't be taken care of financially. And I don't mean like in most women, I don't know. I've seen a lot of things online where women they do want to be taken care of and they don't want to do anything, but the majority of the women.
So they want to be a housewife.
No, that isn't. But first of all, being a housewife is hard work.
Okay, so how then? What are you going to do to be taken care of?
That's work.
Either you want to be a housewife,
Yes.
that's work.
That is-
Some
that's-
women
that's-
But
want
then
to
that's
be
why
like
men get pissed off.
They're
Because how
different.
you gonna be a woman of leisure, but I gotta go make the money.
Right.
So
But
I
no,
go make the money and
so
you just spend it?
That's what a lot of women want, but not all is what I'm saying. So the
Yeah,
women
heck
that are
no.
not in that category, the women that are not thinking like that, they are bringing finances to the table also. They're working and stuff like that, but they are afraid of, like, again, financial irresponsibility on their partner's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I told you on one of the podcast episodes, I do have a friend that her dude don't help pay rent, and they got an eviction notice, and I'm like, girl, friend, what you doing? Why is he even here?
Mm.
And the sex ain't hitting. What is he doing here? What's the point? What is he bringing to the like? What is he bringing into this relationship? Why are you dealing with this? So a lot of women are afraid of that too. And then here's one that I've seen a lot of: submission.
This is probably the biggest one.
A lot of women cannot.
One of the worst
stand
words in the English
the
language
word
right now.
Submission.
And they be like, I
feel
can't submit to a man that don't do
Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
Well, I mean, but
Then how you gonna get in a place where you about to marry somebody? Then you should have already submitted, and he should have submitted to you. Submission is not a one-way street.
correct. But that's the thing, though. I was about to say, let's explain submission a little bit better, like in a healthy way, because a lot of people do look at submission as a negative word, and it's not necessarily a negative term. You know what I mean? But it is definitely looked at as like, okay, you're controlling. You tell me what to wear. You tell me how to speak. You tell me where I can go. You tell me what I can do. That's not submission to
That is
me.
control.
That's control. If I submit to you, I am very like submissive to you. But that doesn't mean that I don't have my own thoughts. That doesn't mean that I don't have my own opinions. It doesn't mean that I can't tell you when you're wrong. It
In
doesn't
order for
mean
me to get you to submit, though,
you
I
have
have to be taking
great.
care of my responsibilities.
Absolutely.
It
And you
all
have
comes
to
back
be,
to it.
and you have to be able to lead me as my
Yes.
husband.
Yes.
Absolutely. If we don't feel like you can lead, then we're not following you and we're not submitting to anything. We're not going to give you the soft feminine person that you
Correct.
want if you do not give us the strong leader that we're
But they
looking
don't,
for.
I don't think they know what that actually means, because leading is not how much money you make. You know, and I think they get that misconstrued, like you have to be the breadwinner in
Right.
order to lead.
Right.
Leading is making sure that your household is taken care of. Are you protective? When y'all go out, do you protect her? Do you protect your kids? Do you make sure your house is in order? Whatever responsibilities you have around the house, do you take care of them? You know what I mean? It's everything. You know what I mean? And then when the money comes in, do you make sure the money gets allocated properly? Do you have a plan? Everything, like for me, men should have a plan. That's your job. You plan for your future.
Yeah.
Your wife should live in the present. You should live in the future. She should be taken care of, or at least thinking about the day-to-day activities of what you need to be doing day to day, and you should be helping her plan for what you need to do tomorrow. That's just me. And I
That's
know that
how
might
our
switch.
relationship works.
It might
Yeah.
switch in some relationships,
yeah.
but I feel like as a man, and if your woman is supposed to lead, you can only lead from the future.
Yeah.
You have to plan so I can take you somewhere, or else where am I leading you to? And then what are we supposed to do? Like, if we're going to get married, what do we see ourselves in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? What do we want to accomplish together? And I feel like as a man, that's what you're the leader of your household, or you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's why when they talk about this whole equality thing, I think we need to start accepting that men and women are different. We're not equal. We do have different roles. And every single relationship, those roles may switch a little bit. But once you define those roles for your relationship, then you follow them. And men just have to be responsible.
Yeah.
When you say you're going to do something, do it.
Period.
If you say that this needs to be done, make sure it gets done. Your wife will go as hard as you will.
Absolutely.
Because if your wife is going harder than you, she's going to leave you.
Yes, because then we lose respect, and we lose attraction. We've just become like disgusted with you, Desiree. If your partner is not leading you the way you would like to be led, and you're doing most of everything, the attraction is gone. Like it leaves. It's not sexy to us. It's like disgusting. Actually, we are repulsed by it. We were like,
Now, I ain't going to say ain't no hard-headed women out there. Because my
I'm not talking
wife,
about them.
no, I know. But my wife was also very stubborn.
I am.
You know, but as a man, there's ways around that. You got to talk about it. You got to let her know, hey, you're being a little bit extra. We need to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to say something, not just be mad about it.
Yeah.
Because men can be
Communication.
stubborn as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing with black women. A lot of black women are stubborn. But that's because of the way y'all grow up.
Yeah.
You don't want to be pushed around. You don't want nobody telling you what to do until you find somebody that you want to follow. And just like men, when you find somebody who you want to lead, once that happens, then you communicate. And it's like once we get that down in our community, we'll see much more healthier relationships.
Yeah.
I think it's really a matter of preference and personality. Because I personally, just because you say you're a leader doesn't mean you're a leader. I like a man that leads from experience. For example, I would not want a man that comes from his mama house
That's
to
facts.
us living together. Like, have you ever taken care of yourself?
Telling
Have
me
you
what to
ever
do.
paid bills
Right.
for yourself before you come in telling us how
That's
to
facts.
build a budget?
Right.
You ain't never had a budget before, so you're not
Absolutely.
a leader because you talk louder than me or because you're saying this is what we're going to do. And I look at that like in any profession. When I was in education, you can't be a specialist. You're a child in my eyes. You're 23 and you got a connection to get that position, whereas I have 8 years of experience. So
What you talking
no,
about?
I'm
Correct.
not going to listen to you because you
But that's
don't
the same
know
thing in a
what
relationship,
you're talking
like you just
about.
said. Like if they
So-
cannot lead you from experience,
And remember, we talking about marriage here. So if you with this person
Experience.
and they living with their mama, the whole time y'all dating,
No,
then you already see that red flag go up. And then you have a choice.
that's your fault. I was gonna say that's your
Right.
fault.
You have a choice. Do you continue or do you get up out of there?
Yeah. Like I told you, I had a friend that was telling me how I should be in my marriage. A friend, not single by choice, right? She's like, if my husband didn't wash the dishes. Okay. Well, what should I do then? Tell me what I should do since you have so much amazing. I said I got 20 at the time, 24, 23 years of a successful marriage. You can't tell me nothing. And I feel like that's how women are too. Like with a relationship, like if a man is broke and he trying to tell her how to be financially responsible, she gonna be like, boy, if you don't get out my face.
You can't have a broke
And we
person
won't
tell you
respect
about
it.
the stock market or money. You know what I mean? It's like
won't
I
respect
definitely get what Desiree's saying because that's true. But to me, it still comes down to responsibilities. And prior to you getting married, what are your responsibilities? Prior, are you holding up your end of the bargain? Then, before you go
Absolutely.
down that aisle.
Absolutely. Again, that's why I said, hey, before we get married, these are the things you have to do. If you don't show me today, I'm not gonna believe that tomorrow you're gonna be all of a sudden responsible. I couldn't do it.
And fellas, taking care of your responsibilities is how you get your respect. That's what you want from you, because your loyalty and respect to me is twofold, right? Ain't nobody gonna be loyal to you if they don't respect you.
That's facts.
So when you take care of what you got to take care of, that's how you earn the respect of your woman. It ain't just, oh, I could put it down, I could do this. They can get penis from anywhere. It's a whole bunch of single dudes out here,
And they don't care about
and it
you
ain't
being
hard for a
married
woman to get none.
at all.
So now, what are you gonna do about that? Take care of your responsibilities. Make her feel comfortable. Make sure she can operate in her feminine energy.
Yep.
Then she will submit.
Correct.
But at the same time she submits, you have to submit.
Absolutely.
And so, just so we're getting back to that word, what is submission? It's supposed to be selflessness. It's supposed to be respect. Then you have your service and accountability. It has nothing to do with controlling anybody. It's just the word has been taken so far out of context now, we don't know what to do with it. And we just be like, let's just get upset about it. So yes, men, you have to submit as well.
Yep.
That
And it's
doesn't mean
okay.
you bow down.
Right.
Either party.
It's
You're not bowing
respect
down.
for each
That's
other,
it.
and it's the mutual love, mutual selflessness, it's reciprocity.
And when you get married and you join forces, you're supposed to become a stronger force. So now it's two of y'all, two incomes, manage your money right, build a future together.
All right, let's get to the next one because my computer's about to die.
Oh, Lord.
And also we're going somewhere. We're doing an employee appreciation day today, so we got somewhere to go. But we need to speak on this. So it doesn't that part doesn't work. So also okay, so being afraid of being controlled. So we talked about that. So same, women feel the same way. We don't want to now all of a sudden you tell us what we can wear and what we can't wear, who our friends can be, where we can go, where we can't go. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this though. There are aspects of a relationship, or I would say like, for example, I had to change some things like my being protected. You know what I mean? Like you be like, you cannot go to this place without protection. That's not being controlled to me. It's being protected by my husband.
But that's also you have a
Right.
protector. I'm actually kind of overprotective. But
Yeah. But like,
that's my job as your man.
right.
is
But
to
I'm
make
saying
sure my
some people
family
might be
is
like,
safe.
oh, that's controlling. That's
No.
not controlling to me.
My job as your man is to protect our family from
Yeah.
physical harm, whatever harm is coming to us.
Right.
That's my job. That's why they be like, a man's supposed to take care of the intruder. You goddamn right. That's what you're supposed to do. That's
Yeah.
not a question. I'm first line of defense, and I know that. Right. But I also know that behind me, my wife's strapped too.
Period.
You know what I mean? We a team.
Yep.
I might have to jump out front, but somebody got my back.
And we talk about this too. We talk about this because I got in trouble once because
Oh, when they shot that club up.
we went to a club and we never go out like that. Not like that. Not to clubs. We never go out. We went out. Thanks a lot, Mike Epps. We went out to his birthday party.
Who
And
invited us? can't even remember. And
I don't know.
they was like, y'all ain't been out in a while. Y'all don't y'all come out.
Come
We was
out.
like,
No, okay. We go out. Go say what's up to Mike. Happy birthday.
we
All
wasn't
the
even in there
things.
5 minutes.
We wasn't even in there long.
There was an argument happening
As we were
when we
walking
walked in. We
yeah.
said what's up, went back over to the side. I had you staying right. I was like, baby, stay right here because I don't like the way
Yeah,
that
you
this
ain't-
looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just been in them situations too many times.
Yeah.
Not even 30 seconds after I say that.
Pow, 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 pow. We like, oh, me being also protective of my husband. We're literally rolling on the ground because I'm trying to get on top of him. He's trying to get on top of me. I'm on him. And
No, that's not what you did. There was a little like brick, almost like a counter. I grabbed you and I threw you down right there.
but then I got
Then
on top of you.
No, you didn't get on top of me. You were gripping my neck and you were pulling me down.
So yeah.
And I was trying to pick my head up so I could see if the exit was clear so I could get us up out of there. And every time I tried to pick my head up, she gripping the mess out of my neck. And I'm fighting her. So I'm pulling her up off the ground as I'm trying to see what's going on.
So yeah, I got in trouble for that for sure.
Yeah, I frog marched her behind up out of there, walked right past the cops. They was running in. What's going on? I ain't got nothing to say to y'all.
Y'all
I'm
figure
out.
that out yourself.
I got her in the car, which was like down the block a little
I
bit.
ain't never. My feet did not touch the ground. I don't remember my feet touching the ground.
When I closed that door, I started the engine. I looked dead at her like,
Don't you ever do that again.
I was so upset.
But I was trying to protect him too.
I appreciate it though.
But we had to talk about that.
Yes.
And so then we had to talk about like, what if something were to happen again? What if something were to happen? What's the
protocol?
What's the protocol? Especially now that we have children, it's also different. You know what I mean? We talk about that constantly. He's like, if this goes down, this is what I need you to do.
We got jobs
every time.
You have to have a job.
Yeah.
So if somebody
that's not controlling
breaks
to me.
No, you're a protector of your home. If somebody
Yeah.
breaks into our house, my wife knows her responsibility is the kids first. Mine is whoever's in the house.
Yeah.
You get the kids safe, get them out the house, whatever the case may be. Once I know they're out the house, then more than likely I'm going to leave the house versus staying into a situation where I could lose my life over some material possessions.
Yeah.
But now if they're in the house and my family's in the house, then yeah, we banging it out.
Period.
That's just what it is.
Yep. And I ain't afraid. So there's that. Anywho, that's a whole nother podcast that we could also get into. Because I'm going to always have your back and I'm going to always protect you too. Just so you know that. But like, I ain't about to let I don't care. Like like I told you, that whole George Floyd thing, that got to me because I was like, there's no way that I would be able to sit there and see that happening without blasting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even playing. Like, I wouldn't even. There's no thought about that. That's a whole nother podcast. I don't want to get into that, but we will talk about that. Okay, so another thing is fear of divorce, just like men. But ours is more so like the fear of failure and fear of looking bad and fear of looking like crazy in front of people. And especially because a lot of women, we be like, oh, my husband, let me check with my husband.
Wear that marriage as a badge of honor.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Let me check with my husband real quick. Let me do this. Let me do that, right?
And when you get married, you end up getting married friends.
Yeah. And that's also, it's just a bunch of weird stuff. So the failure, you don't want to be considered, you don't want your marriage to be considered a failure. Fear of having pressure to have a baby.
And that usually don't come from us.
Yeah.
But people think when you get married, it's time to have a baby.
Yep. And that's not always the case. Or sometimes you want to and you can't. Yep. So women, they kind of, feel a way about that as well.
Or you want to start off enjoying your married life together, just y'all, before you add in a third wheel, a permanent third wheel.
Yep.
Because kids, they don't care.
Yeah. What's another one?
Their career is over.
Career. Yes, career. So again, that is definitely a balancing act. We talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have to know how to balance that. And again, be in communication, constant communication with your partner about your career. But a lot of times women are into their careers really heavy because, especially Black women, because we were taught to be in our career first. Education, career first, then.
And you're also creating your own safety net should
Exactly.
you fail in your relationship. And that's where, again, men come in and make her feel not that you shouldn't pursue your career, because we've been doing that for a minute, but I've also understood what is supposed to happen within your career, because I've been there.
Yeah.
When I wasn't there, we were pretty much separate. I was hooping, you was doing music, but then when we came together, I understood this is what you have to do.
Yeah. Last one, deceit. We're afraid of being lied to. We have trust issues because of whatever reason. I know for me, my trust issues started when I was a kid because of my father always lying to me. And I mean, always.
And I had to make sure I didn't.
Yep. And then being in the music industry, oh my God, the deceit, the weirdness. It was just a lot of interesting things that I had to deal with in the music industry, which sometimes bled into our relationship.
It definitely affected me, and not so much my relationship with my wife, but it affected me in relationships with other men.
Yeah.
I just kind of tuned everybody out and just concentrated here.
Yeah.
That's me. A lot of men don't do that. They stop trusting everybody.
Yeah.
I knew one place I've always been safe is at home.
Aww.
So I always got my partner at home that always got my back. I ain't never had to worry about that.
Yeah.
My focus has always been able to be tight.
Yeah.
But certain industries are definitely
we're just
rough.
We women are just afraid to be lied to, because they will put their all into a relationship. They will put their all into a marriage, and they will give everything, which, was it David Banner on one of the podcasts that I was watching? I want to say it was David Banner. I'm not sure though, but somebody was talking about not putting 100% of yourself into anything, because what if you lose that thing? Then what happens after that? And I think, the biggest thing is, like I told you, I tell you this all the time. Don't make me look crazy. Don't disrespect me, as far as like, always talk to me, communicate with me. Don't cheat on me, because that would piss me off, because I've given you 25 years of my life, loyal years. You know what I'm saying? And so if you were to do that, I'd be like, feel really hurt, because, women will give their all. I've given you children. I've given you this. I've given you that. And women will be like, I've done this. And you got the nerve to do this? They're
but then
afraid.
Again, you can't let your past deceits affect your current one.
You can't, but you also have to look out for things that look familiar. You understand what I'm saying? So if your partner doesn't make you feel like that, that's a whole nother thing.
But some people are just like that.
Because you made sure, like I told you, I've got trust issues because of this. Because of these things
but you
that
also
I know
told me that.
That's what I'm saying.
So I knew what to look out for. I knew what not to do.
Right.
But you also had those people, like the same friend you're talking about. You gave her the scenario that if you could have 15 years of guaranteed happiness, you knew it was going to end, but you was going to have 15 glorious years, or you could just be by yourself. She was like, I'd rather be by myself.
That's crazy.
Because right now, I ain't trading none of that in. That we've been through, the good, the bad, the ugly. My relationship, like I've said it before, I ain't never had to worry about this over here.
Yeah.
I ain't trading that for nothing, even if something happened tomorrow.
Right.
I still appreciate the fact that my wife helped me become a man, the man that I am now. You know what I mean? It was a long, long road.
Long road.
Long road. It's been
You
some
always
craziness.
been dope though. You just,
Yeah.
You always been dope. Always been cool. Always been an amazing partner. I ain't never had to deal with nothing like crazy like that. So.
She working on when we go home. That's cool. Keep working on it, baby.
Anyways, so yeah, I would just say like all the things that you are hesitant about, let's just close this up like this. All the things that you're hesitant about, woman, man, whatever, open dialogue.
Communication is numero uno.
Talk about it. That is the only way that you're going to get, communication and action, right? Showing that, okay, you won't have to worry about these things. I'm going to show you that you don't have to worry about these things. I'm going to make you feel safe when it comes to these things. And I think that goes both ways, not just men showing, not just women showing, both. It has to be reciprocated. And I think if you can do that, it can be a successful marriage.
I guess one more thing that I could add to this one for both men and women, your problems should not play out in public.
Yeah.
You should always have each other's back. no matter what. Put your face on, smile for the cameras or whatever they want to call it. Once you get home,
Duke it out. No.
pretty much. But that's when you sit down and you have that hard conversation.
Yeah.
But you don't let other people see you sweat. That's embarrassing for everybody involved.
Yeah.
And I feel like in our community, because so much plays out on TV with reality TV and
just
social media, that this is how we starting to think how we should act in public. But you should not, like men should not be embarrassing their women, and women should not be embarrassing their man.
We should do a podcast on that specifically.
Absolutely.
Let me turn my cup because they are not paying us. Here we go.
Sure mine ain't.
Right. Great advice, honey. We got one more thing to do. This is the last thing.
Okay.
While I'm pulling up our okay, I need my phone.
Where your phone at?
Sarah has it. I need my phone. Oh no, Sarah doesn't have it. While we pull this up, we need to come up. I'll let Desiree do it. Desiree, what is the what's the No. I know that the segment is Speak on It, but what's the the discount code for today? For today's episode.
Child. I don't know.
That.
Make child. I don't know.
Let's see. What's one of the? You want to use the word submit?
Okay.
Submit. That is the code for today's episode. You have 2 days, 48 hours to use the code submit for 20% off. You have to watch this episode when it drops or listen to this episode when it drops in order to take advantage of those
2 days from the day it drops.
Yep. All right. So, all right, let's see what I got to make this kind of quick. Oh, I don't know if this is going to be quick. All right. Our Speak on It segment is where we get questions, letters from our listeners, our watchers, and they ask for advice. They tell us what they're going through, and they ask us what we think about it, and they ask our opinions on it and our advice. So if you have anything that you want us to speak on, make sure to email us or
hit us in the DMs.
Yep.
Any of that good stuff.
Couple podcast. The Perfect Couple Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Follow us on TikTok too. All right, here goes. First of all, let me say that I really enjoy listening to your podcast. I am a young woman from a very traditional African family. My parents believe strongly in arranged marriages, and they have found someone they believe is a suitable match for me. The problem is I am no longer a virgin, and my parents are not aware of that. Oh no. Okay. Well, I do not find the man they chose for me to be attractive, and I don't want to marry him. I don't want to be controlled by a man, and I don't want to be submissive. I'm afraid that my parents will disown me if I don't go through with the marriage, and if I go through with the marriage, I'm afraid that it will cause shame on my family when they find out that I am not a virgin. I no longer have the same cultural or traditional views as my parents since moving to the States, and I'm not sure how to move forward. Please help. Okay. We need longer time, so I'm gonna cut this right here, and then we will start the next episode answering the Speak on It segment.
That's about to be a minute.
Okay, so make sure you stay tuned. I like that as a cliffhanger. That's cute, right? That's a cute little cliffhanger. Make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to watch the next episode so that you can get our answer on that, our opinion on that, and we got some time to think about that too. With that being said, make sure, guys, follow us on social media. Check out all of our brands, which we're going to do a little rollout right here. Bow. And support Black businesses. If you're looking to up your nutrition game, make sure to check us out at justmovesupplements.com, a premium vegan supplement brand with proteins that taste like it came from your grandma's kitchen and energy supplements that taste like Kool-Aid. Make sure to check us out at justmovesupplements.com. Are you ready for a crazy transformation? Check out ifyoucanmove.com to experience a variety of fun workouts like dance, kickboxing, calisthenics, and monthly fitness challenges that get you amazing results. And don't forget to download the app.
Go to teamlachey.com for all your fitness accessory needs. from gloves to booty bands and everything in between.
Check out PageAndAmari.com for luxury and athleisure wear. Look stylish at the gym, on a date, or just hanging out.
Show your love for Black culture with sayit-loud.com, our statement brand that highlights Black excellence.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Subscribe to our YouTube. Check out our videos, The Perfect Couple Podcast. Is there anything else you want to say? Oh, follow us.
Follow us on social media.
Mm-hmm.